So we just asked you, what do many researchers consider the poster child of prescription drug abuse among teens? Did you guess Adderall? That's right. This heavily used drug to combat symptoms of ADHD and hyperactivity is now being used by thousands of teenagers as a mild stimulant. Some report it makes them feel high. I can tell you it's all over the university I teach at, and students tell me it was very easy to get at their high school. By the way, all of those terms we put up are potential slang terms for Adderall. What has me worried is that there are a lot more drugs circulating in your kids' environment than when you were young. And kids are learning how to use the black market to get a hold of them. They're using cash, or they're trading things to get what they like. Hey, you get the Adderall and I can get the beer. By the way, did you recognize all those terms were for ecstasy? And those other terms, those were all terms for heroin. Well, maybe not. Maybe you don't know the language that your kids may be using to discuss drugs and drug transactions. And some of these kids, by the way, are stealing prescription drugs from their parents, their grandparents, others they have access to. But again, this isn't the world you or I grew up in. Prescription drugs are everywhere and easy to get. And kids don't see them as dangerous like heroin or cocaine because these are sometimes used as medicine. Maybe their brother or sister has been prescribed Ritalin or pain pills, but they are dangerous because they also train the brain and cause it to rewire. So we also asked, are busier kids better kids? In my previous workshops, many parents selected, it depends, and that's my answer too. For example, my kids were very, very busy, but we still had issues. All three played sports. They were in clubs, they took lots of AP classes, they all held part-time jobs since they were 16. Two were class presidents. We had FBLA, theater. I mean, we were busy every night. One was even a National Merit Scholar. But busy doesn't always protect them or you. One of them, I believe, got introduced to drinking and drugs earlier than their classmates because they were popular. The older kids adopted them and let them come to parties, which accelerated my kids' exposure to alcohol and marijuana. I wish I had known and put a stop to that. And you may be wondering, does religion necessarily protect your child? I mean, mine all went to church growing up. And I grew up in a very religious small farm town, but our next door neighbor's kid came back from his first year at a religious affiliated college with a brain that had been severely damaged by drugs. Being a successful kid, a physically healthy kid, a religious kid, these are not surefire protections. So you need to do something about this. What's that going to be? I'll get to that later. In our next section, I answer the question, what is addiction? But first, a few more questions for you.